Okay, I'll get started. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessie. I'm an intern for the Office of Community Engagement. Thank you for joining us for our first ever hybrid Good Neighbor Day. I'm just going to show a brief introduction video, and then I'll hand it over to the student athletes. Let me share my screen. Okay. The audio might be a little fuzzy, but I think it's my Wi-Fi, so.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Hewlett, and on behalf of the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, welcome to Good Neighbor Day 2020. We have been a proud partner of Good Neighbor Day for 8 years as we continue to provide healthy recreation options for our community. Each year, we look forward to joining you in rolling up our sleeves, using a little elbow grease to spruce up our community. However, just as with many events in our lives, COVID has forced us all to reevaluate but reimagine our programming. Thanks to Good Neighbor Day and our strong partners in the City of College Park and the University of Maryland, we can provide our residents with healthy opportunities to stay connected. We are Prince George's proud, resilient, and committed to engage in sustainable practices and pursue ways to keep our communities clean and beautiful. We are here and ready to serve. Stay safe, stay strong, stay hopeful, look out for one another, and be a good neighbor as we work together for a hopeful future for our community. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Patrick Boyan, Mayor of the City of College Park. I want to thank you for joining us today and welcome you to Good Neighbor Day. This annual event takes place to beautify our shared spaces, and the City of College Park does it in partnership with the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission and the University of Maryland. Good Neighbor Day brings people together in our shared spaces to better our community and meet each other. You might be serving in your own neighborhood today, or you might discover a place in College Park that you've never been to before. It's a true measure of our community that, especially during these tough times, we come together and respond in service and partnership. So I want to thank you for taking your time today and for taking pride in your community enough to chip in and help. I also want to thank our partners at the University of Maryland and the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Welcome to the 9th Annual Good Neighbor Day, the first of its kind. This year's hybrid version of Good Neighbor Day includes virtual workshops and small-scale in-person projects focused on creating and maintaining vibrant communities, as well as educating and exciting our fellow community members on a variety of topics. The University of Maryland is grateful for the Office of Community Engagement, the Prince George's County Department of Parks and Recreation, the City of College Park, and every other partner that made this event possible. As a land-grant university and do-good campus, through collaboration and commitment to public service, we all demonstrate what it means to be Terrapin strong.
Hello, and welcome to Good Neighbor Day 2020. Thank you so much for your participation. Good Neighbor Day began in 2011 when it was known as Christmas in April. We started with 50 volunteers and did home renovations. Over the 9 years since, Good Neighbor Day has grown into a strong local tradition. Hundreds of volunteers have helped many in our area. We have a wonderful partnership that includes the University of Maryland, the City of College Park, and the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. This year, we have a very different kind of Good Neighbor Day with both in-person activities and online workshops. In person, we're going to be beautifying community gardens. We're going to be supporting local food banks through our food drive. And we're going to be doing cleanups in many communities. Our online workshops include financial wellness, mental health and stress management, answering the call to justice and community involvement, and talking with our University of Maryland student athletes about their experiences. I want to extend my heartfelt appreciation to our Office of Community Engagement for their leadership and coordination of Good Neighbor Day for many years. So thank you, Gloria, Jose, Gulshan, and Cameron. Also want to thank the many planners, coordinators, and volunteers who've made a commitment to Good Neighbor Day again this year. And lastly, I want to remind everybody to stay safe, exercise healthy behaviors, wear your face coverings, wash your hands, stay socially distant. And if you're not feeling well, please don't participate in person. Thank you once again. Now let's get started.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, now I'm gonna hand it over to the student athletes.
Hi everyone, my name is Brooke DeBrodine. I'm a senior on the field hockey team, and we helped volunteer this morning at Good Neighbor Day at the food drive, which was really fun. We had a lot of student athletes come out for that, and it was a really great turnout. So we appreciate the Office of Community Engagement allowing us to partner with them on that. It was a great experience. And today we kind of just wanted to get to know you guys and see if you wanted to hear anything about our experiences, what you're interested in, and if we can give any advice for any of you too. So I'm Brooke, I'm on the field hockey team.
And I'll just introduce myself. I'm Maggie Root. I'm a senior on the women's lacrosse team. I was with Brooke and Julia, who will introduce herself in a second, and also Kira, all day at the food drive today. And it was a really great opportunity. I second what Brooke was saying about being thankful to the Office of Community Engagement for partnering with us. We had a really great experience and can't wait to talk to you guys.
Hi guys, my name is Julia Rayson. I'm a member of the track and cross country teams. I'm a senior at the University of Maryland. And yeah, the food drive was great to be a part of. I'm really excited to be a part of the greater Good Neighbor Day with the university.
Hi, I'm Kira. I'm also on track and cross country, and I was at the food drive this morning. It was very fun to help out.
So we just wanted to get a feel for how old you guys were to kind of see where we wanted to take this conversation. So does anyone mind sharing what the crowd is, what your age group is? Is anyone out there? Senior? Okay. Good. Junior, sophomore, senior. That's good. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. So we have a Kahoot planned that we could just start out with, or we could go right into questions if you guys have any. If you guys prefer which one we do you want to send it in the chat? And then once we get a couple of votes, we can go from there. Okay, we'll start out with our Kahoot. Thanks, Claire. All right, let me get this up. It's just a couple fun facts. Okay. The pin's loading right now. Could you guys allow me to share my screen, please? I still don't think I can share it. It says it's disabled. Oh, now I can. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, can you guys see that good? All right, so there's the pin, and then I'll give you guys a minute or two to put that in. Okay, we'll give it another minute and then we can start. I haven't done a Kahoot in forever. All right, I think we're probably good. That's 8 people. All right, so we'll start it. Okay, I think you have 20 questions for each one. I mean, 20 seconds, sorry. Nice. Okay. Oh, Sam, you almost have it. You're almost tied there. Nice. Wow, I didn't even know that. I don't know how you guys all knew that.
I'm impressed. I did not know that.
Good job, Sam. Women's lacrosse, and we have our very own Maggie here today.
Let's go, guys. I know the answer.
If anyone gets this right, I'll be impressed.
I appreciate the two of you that got it right, even if you guessed.
Oh, we have some competition going. This is a little subjective, so since you guys are all students at Maryland, you probably have your own opinion. Oh, okay, we agree. Most of us. Okay, nice. This one also could be a couple. I feel like, Julia, you guys run everywhere, so. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know about the football track. I'm not sure if that's a real place.
Oh, that's true. There's 2 answers for this. Isn't it weird looking at that crowd? I feel like we're so far from that right now.
No, I can tell you the last time I was in a crowd.
Okay.
Like even watching like movies, I'm like, wait, why is no one wearing a mask?
I know.
Is it comfortable?
I would not know this one.
Yes, you would.
So pretty. I don't think I would.
It was on the shirts that we got last year.
Oh, a lot of people didn't know that. Nice.
There we go.
This
Whoa,
one was really cool. I didn't know this.
that is really cool.
Yeah.
Wait, that was true?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I need to go to a gymnastics meet.
Same.
They're so fun to watch.
Brooke, I didn't know that you hadn't either.
Yeah, I added myself in when I saw this.
Never
This
had.
doesn't interest me at
That's
all.
weird.
I'd
I like
rather have
all
them.
those.
I'd rather have them separate.
Same.
This one's kind of tricky. Nice.
Nice.
I feel like she kind of looks the same.
She
I
loves
was literally just gonna say that her facial features.
her eyes like did not change.
Nice. Maybe process of elimination there. %.
Again, this one's subjective.
Where is Greenbelt Park?
I don't think Greenbelt Park is, that's like a drive away from campus.
Okay, so it wouldn't technically be on campus.
Yeah.
Also subjective, and I didn't agree. I would have also picked Marathon Deli.
Wait,
I think I would have too,
who
actually.
picked that?
I don't know who made that question. Okay, last one. Nice. All right, well that's, oh wait, we can see who the winner is. Good Neighbor Day podium. Jay is third. Yulia. Nice, Sam. Pretty consistent throughout the whole thing.
Work.
All right. Well, the next part is really just whatever you guys want to get out of this. So if you would unmute yourself or ask questions or ask us to talk about anything, we're definitely open to anything. Or if you just want to put them in the chat, that would be great. And then we can just answer them that way too. anyone want to start out with that?
I can start with the first question. I've been playing sports ever since I can remember. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and the sport of lacrosse is pretty prominent in Baltimore. I feel like it's almost a rite of passage to play lacrosse if you're from Baltimore. And I just really enjoyed it. I played a lot of other sports when I was younger. I really like playing soccer too. I played that in high school. But it's definitely nice coming from somewhere where I played different sports and then got to focus on one for college. But I've definitely been an athlete for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I'm from like Montgomery County, Maryland, and unlike Baltimore, I feel like soccer was the big thing around me. So I played soccer when I was younger, and then when I got to high school, um, it was like either soccer or running, and my biggest strength on the soccer field was always that I was fast. So I was like, well, why wouldn't I just take my strength and just focus on that? So that's when I switched over to track. But yeah, I have been an athlete, I feel like, for as long as I can remember too.
Okay, thanks guys. So then we can just, there's a lot of good questions here. So how are you doing during this time when you cannot compete? So this is a good question. It's definitely really different for all of us. Maggie's season was canceled in the spring, and then my season was canceled in the fall. And then Julia and Kira, yours was canceled.
We lost both.
Both, yeah, I was gonna say. So it's definitely super weird. It's a lot of training right now, but we're like, I think we're all happy that we can train at least because that's keeping us busy and just being able to hang out with our team. And I think for my team especially, it's giving us like an opportunity to just like focus on each other and like focus on like more of the basic skills instead of worrying like about going to compete. And it's nice having the weekends off and being able to hang out with my teammates too. Usually we're pretty busy on the weekends, so being able to do different things, obviously while staying safe, is really fun during this time. But it's definitely challenging, especially for us right now. The ACC conference is playing field hockey, and we're not playing in the Big Ten, so it's a little weird watching like some of our biggest competitors compete, and then we're kind of just sitting at home watching them on the TV. But I think that a lot of Maryland teams are definitely using like the time for their advantage and like not sitting back and just moping about it, but like getting out there and playing and enjoying it and just like having the time to like focus on the fun aspect of it too.
I think Yulia will come back to your question, but since Catherine's is kind of connected to this one, for us, like for the lacrosse team, it's different. Since COVID, we practice in masks, and it's kind of hard to breathe sometimes, but it's very different wearing a mask and playing sports. It's just like not something that you're used to doing. We're definitely, like Brooke was saying, more kind of specific skill work oriented right now because we're not competing and we really don't know when we will be competing, which is not something that we've ever had before in the past. So, you know, I mean, being on competitive sports teams and a Division I program, you're preparing for competition and we don't know when our competition's going to be. So kind of just like going back to the basics, athletics has been really different for that reason, and practicing in masks and going in through phases. We originally only practiced with half our team in different time slots, so we really didn't see the other half of the team, which was super weird once we did get to start practicing all together because I hadn't even seen, like my whole freshman class was in the other group, so I hadn't even seen the freshmen play yet. So it was super weird because they had been practicing, but I didn't, for me, like they hadn't been practicing because I hadn't seen them. But it's definitely really different and I'm very ready for it to go back to normal.
Yeah, and I think from, I mean, I don't want to speak for Kira, but from a track and field and cross country perspective, the only time we're not in season is the summer. And in the summer we're like not here. So we never have like an off season where we're training on campus. So it's been a different experience for us because basically we've only ever known like constant competition. And on top of that, like we get tested every week. And then up until last week, we had like a daily in-person check-in, and now we're responsible for checking ourselves in with like taking our temperature. We were getting our pulse ox and our heart rate checked every day before practice. So we just have like little things extra now that we have to like be careful about so that we're safe and listen to like all the protocols.
I definitely agree with Julia. We're used to always competing, but our team has been doing like time trials and stuff where we race against our other teammates. So at least we've been starting to get back in like competitive nature, but it's been weird.
Yeah, definitely different. Okay. So how do you guys choose classes around practices? So usually, at least for my team, we have like a practice block that you're not supposed to schedule classes in as long as you like it's like unless it's like absolutely necessary. Like I think we see this a lot like our senior junior year, like when you're trying to like graduate and finish your major and you might have to take a class, and like I think our coaches work well around that because like we're here for our education, so they'll adjust to that. And yeah, so it's definitely just trying not to schedule within the block. And we also we get to choose our classes early, which is nice because we do have to schedule around certain blocks for practices, so we are like limited on space. So yeah, just being flexible, but our coaches are definitely helpful if it comes to like that we have to take it during practice.
Yeah, it's really helpful having we have a priority registration, so I think it's only like a week or so before everyone else registers. But it's really helpful because, like Brooke said, you know, our commitment to the university is being there for our practice time so that we can compete on our teams. And if we can't be there, then that's kind of breaking the commitment that we have as student athletes. So being able to put your academics first and be able to schedule them is a great privilege that we have, and it's very helpful for us.
Okay, what is your typical day like? Does someone want to take that one?
I can take it, I
Okay.
guess. So, obviously, like it's a little bit different during COVID, but like a typical day with COVID not being a thing would be like wake up, go to for track and cross country. Our time block is from 2 to 6 every day. So we take most of our classes in the morning, and if we have to take a night class, obviously we just do that. So on average, like I take classes most of the morning to the mid-afternoon, and then usually for me around like 1 o'clock, I go and do like a prehab, which is like activation to get my muscles like ready for a workout. And then after that, I would go to practice. So that would be for us like a lot of running, maybe some drills, and then a lift following that, and then like go home, eat dinner, obviously eat breakfast and lunch because if we weren't fueling our bodies, like we would not make it through a workout at 2 p.m. And then for most of the night, I feel like I end up doing homework pretty straight until like 11 p.m. on average. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, similar for sorry, bro. Similar for me in the spring, we practice in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then in the afternoon on Tuesday, Thursdays. So pre-COVID, your days would start with practice on Mondays, class all Monday afternoon, quick lunch in between practice and class, depending on how much time you have. Like Julia said, you go for pre-practice treatment if you need to like have something worked on or like extra stretches. Do that about an hour before practice if you can. And then after practice, get ice or whatever you need for post-practice rehab. If you have injuries that can take longer, then you go to class. Sometimes we would lift, sometimes we'll have film, and then eat dinner and do homework. So if it's a Tuesday or Thursday, we are in class all morning, go to practice, kind of same thing. But one of the good things about the Maryland Athletic Department is that they do a really good job when you're a freshman teaching you time management. So it really helped me out when I was a freshman because I didn't feel super overwhelmed, even though my schedule was really packed, because they helped me understand how I should be managing my time so that I could be the most successful in and out of the classroom and on and off the field.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I was making some calculations over here. Cameron, you said, how much time do you spend on your sport versus academics if it was a percentage? So I feel like after we all just went through that, I think a typical day would probably be like 4 hours of practice, maybe, like with traveling and getting there and treatment and stuff like that, at least 4 to 5, maybe, even on some days. So I probably spend maybe the same depending on what kind of semester I'm in. Like right now, I'm in a pretty hard semester, so I spend probably 4 hours a day on homework, honestly. But I mean, thinking back to freshman year or something when I was in like intro classes, I probably wouldn't spend as much. So in a typical day, I would probably say like 50-50 with academics and spending time in my sports. So I don't know if anyone agrees with that.
Yeah, I feel like that's about right. I feel like I probably spend a little bit more time on school. Like I feel like it's also like definitely depends on your major, but I feel like I probably spend more like 60-40 or 65-35.
I'm only a sophomore, so I feel like I have a little bit more free time, but sports is definitely still 50-50 almost.
Okay, I think we got through those questions. Does anyone have anything else? Oh, interesting question.
I think that question is that's a good question. It's something that we've talked about a lot on SAC last year when the like bill was being passed in California and stuff. But that question is really directed, like that whole subject is really just directed at revenue sports. And coming from all female athletes, regardless of our sport, we're not revenue sports. So you'll see really the people that this question affects are men's basketball and football players, because they are the people who are trying to go pro or are wanting to be signed by agents or feel that they have the right to have an agent or whatever it may be. But that's really not seen that much in female sports. So my answer would be no, because we receive generous scholarships as D1 athletes, which my dad always said to me, like, you're getting paid to go to school because the tuition's less. So because of the scholarship that you're earning. So my answer would be no, but I think if you asked somebody on a revenue-based sport, that they would probably say yes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Maggie. I do think that the paying for student athletes is different also than the concept of like being able to use your name, image, and likeness, that's the bill that's getting passed. And a lot of people agree with that. So name, image, and likeness is the bill basically supports the idea that like I can take my name and say, hey, Marathon Deli, you should sponsor me. And I'll put a post, you can put my poster up and say that I approve of this meal or I approve of eating at this restaurant if you pay me X amount. But paying athletes would involve like the athletic department basically paying them. And when that happens, it does get a little bit more complicated because then our scholarships become taxable. So like if you make more money with, like if you have a job and you're getting a scholarship and you make more money than like netting zero, you'll end up getting taxed on your scholarship. So it gets like a little bit messy. Obviously, it would be possible if they wanted it to happen, but I'm not really sure if athletic departments can truly afford to pay the amount that these athletes are kind of hoping for. But yeah, name, image, and likeness, it looks like is going to pass through and be a thing in 2021. I can take this one unless one of you guys wants to go. Okay, so I think something that's really unique in the US is that athletes like have a sense of community and a sense of following. So I think any opportunity to use their platform to kind of share initiatives that are important to them is a strong like opportunity. And when athletes are vocal about certain topics, it normally leads their followers to think about a topic and kind of continue down and doing research and getting involved. So I think it's really important just based off the platform aspect. And I think the skills and abilities from like a leadership perspective come with being part of a team and being part of that community and kind of learning how to work with people that are different than you. But the platform is what kind of really allows an athlete to be influential. Does that answer your question, I guess?
Those are all really good questions. If anyone has anything else?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that it's kind of just like, yes, it is like a huge stigma, but especially growing up as female athletes, I know I can speak for myself, but I was basically taught that being an athlete was being an athlete. It wasn't about being a female athlete. So I liked playing football with my friends that were boys, and I liked playing soccer with my friends that were boys. And I think as a kid, I just grew up in the right kind of environment where I was just able to focus on playing sports and being as tough as possible. And then like being a female athlete after being an athlete. And I think that once you can find your footing as an athlete, then you can start advocating for like female athletics and kind of like, you know, equal rights, how the US women's soccer team advocates so well for them. And I think that I don't think that it's that the stigma is that they're not as important. I think that the stigma is that men's sports have historically been more fun to watch. And it's kind of just something that exists to me. I don't really find it like hurtful or offensive. It's kind of just something that is. And like they have the biggest donors, and that's what makes them have better facilities and kind of the ability to bring in more people to watch them. Coming from a women's lacrosse team that has the most national championships at the school, I mean, we do have a huge following as the women's lacrosse team here. And especially being in Maryland, everybody knows like who we are and everything. So I feel like I maybe don't experience as much of a difference because people are really excited about the women's lacrosse team at Maryland and like the field hockey team too. I don't really know that much about track, but it's like, I don't know. I think that once you get to the collegiate level, especially, everybody is so like consumed by the fact that you're a college athlete that it doesn't really matter if you're a female or a male athlete. It's just like you are a student athlete and you're here to be successful at school and be successful in your sport, and that's really all that matters. I think it just kind of goes in with like the NBA is really popular and the NFL is really popular. I think that's why those sports are just more popular in general. I don't know if that answers that question.
I can add on also. I feel like, as Maggie said, like once you get to this level, like you're just an athlete and maybe you're not like on the football team or the basketball team, but like you still get a lot of opportunities and a lot of like benefits from being an athlete and opportunities and experiences that will like help you grow. And even if we're not like, if you look at like the rules of Title IX, which are kind of what allows female student athletes to have any opportunities, like that ruling allows us to have had so many doors open for us. So I think in some ways it can be viewed as a negative, but you can also really look at it as a positive of like equal opportunities and equal access to being a high level athlete. Because even though like, I mean, if you just look at track, like a female runner is not going to be faster than the fastest male runner, but that doesn't mean that they're not amazing for a female runner. So I think having that opportunity to like kind of be a part of it, even if you're not as great, has been a really cool experience.
Okay, awesome. So the next question is, what do you do to keep yourself grounded? How do you manage your academic and sports responsibilities? So I can start out with this. I think what I do to keep myself grounded is being able to separate sports kind of from the rest of my life. Like when I step off the field and like come in practice, I try not to, especially in my apartment, like it's not something, even though I live with my teammates, it's not something that we want our every single hour of every single second to talk about, because I think it is easy to get into that routine. So trying to kind of keep them separate and like be a person outside of athletics. And I think our athletic department here really helps with that, especially like preparing us for after college. All of us here are on SAC, and it's just a great like organization and really like helps us like prepare ourselves outside of athletics, which is a really good, and how like Maryland's really been approaching this in the past couple of years really well. And then how do you manage your academic and sports responsibilities? Maggie kind of touched on this before, but definitely time management. As I've grown up, like as I've come through my 4 years, I realized that like every time is every like, even though it's like 10 minutes, I still could be doing something in that time. And in order to like get to bed at like a decent time to get my full sleep, I need to do something in those 10 minutes. Like, so just really taking an advantage of every single time. And I'm a big like list person. So putting that, like writing a list like for the week is like how I kind of do that for myself.
Just to add to that, I'm only a sophomore, so last year they really helped me out as a freshman with study hall and like teaching me time management and stuff, and really making sure I like get my work done at like the high level, which is college. So that really helped, and then I just carried those same techniques into my sophomore year to make sure I get everything done.
I think something else that they like really drive home for us is that, you know, to be successful on the field, you have to be successful in the classroom. So, you know, you can be, it is possible to be academically ineligible. If your GPA is not where it's supposed to be, you can't play your sport. So I think that it's kind of the work ethic that you're taught as an athlete is not only just for your sport, it's for your life. And it's really driven through into your academics as well, because in order to be successful, in order to win a game, you know, to break it down that simply, you have to accomplish smaller things first to be able to reach a bigger goal. And it's the same thing in the classroom. You know, you have to be able to accomplish all of your tasks in order to get a good grade on an exam or get a good grade in a class. So I think that the work ethic that comes with being an athlete, and which is taught on the field, is something that really shines through in the classroom, which is something that is going to work with me through the rest of my life as a professional also. So I think that that's one of the biggest things about being an athlete that I cherish.
Yeah, and just one more thing is we have a lot of structure in our day, and we know that we have practice at a certain time and class at a certain time, or if not always during COVID, like since there's so many asynchronous classes right now. But just having that structure of at this time, I need to be on time, I need to be ready to go, like to perform at a high level, and I need to go to bed at this time so that I can get enough sleep so I can perform again the next day, I think allows like a lot of structure. And that structure in some ways kind of forces us to maintain our like being on top of our work, which I know some people don't like the structure, but I think for a lot of athletes it's a really positive thing that we get to kind of experience.
Okay, well, if there's no other questions, I think this was great. Thanks for your answer. Your questions are really good and really helpful. So
Yeah, great questions. That was thought-provoking. I enjoyed that. Oh, role model.
I have to think about this one.
Mine's not sports related. It's just my mom.
I would have to say my mom too.
I was gonna say that too. I can't like sports related. I think of as role models, but usually I don't really know them as a person. So I just know them from looking at them on the field. So I think to say a role model, I would have to know their personality.
Yeah. When I was little, though, it was Mia Hamm, because there were always stories about her. If you guys don't know, she was a very well-known professional soccer player, and she played at North Carolina. And there were always stories about her, being outside on the field in the rain at night, anytime, any day, just practicing her footwork, practicing little things, and that she was such a dedicated player, and that she always did it regardless of if people were watching or not. And that was kind of the thing about her. Somebody just saw her practicing one day and was like, wow, she does this all in her own time. And she didn't even know that somebody had seen her. So that was something that stuck with me a lot when I was little, because it's not about what you do when everybody's watching. It's about what you do all the time. And that makes you, who you are, because that's who you're being to yourself, regardless of if people see you or not. And as athletes, that's really important, because you could be working as hard as you can in practice, but if you're not putting in time, by yourself to work on things that you're struggling with, then you're not going to get better at those things for yourself. You're just going to, get better at the things that you're competing with people against. So for an athlete, when I was little, Mia Hamm was definitely a role model for me. But I don't know now, other than my mom.
I just wanted to say to all of you, thank you for being part of this. You have been very thoughtful, inspiring. As of today, a historic day is unfolding. I just wanted to let you know that all of you create a sense of hope, a sense of that you care, that a beautiful day, and you're here at 3 o'clock, at 4:20 now. That means a lot. So when you become a role model, what I'm going to say about you is that you are dedicated, that you care of what you do and what you believe in. So I totally appreciate it. I'm Gloria Patricia. I don't show my face because I'm in my office and I'm walking around all the sites, and so I'm a little bit sweaty. So I want to just express my gratitude to all of you for being there this morning at the food drive. We collected around 1,500 pounds of canned goods. So kudos to all of you, because I can see that it takes a village, it takes a team, and you are part of the team. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
Yeah, that's so nice. Thank you for having us.
Always. So you know where to find us when you want to do some more good out there. We can hook you up.
Yeah, thank you so much for letting the athletic department be such a big part of Good Neighbor Day this year. It really means a lot, and hopefully we can continue this partnership in the future.
Of course, the door is always open.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We hope you have a great rest of the weekend and get to enjoy the weather tonight. It doesn't feel like November, but
Also, I just heard our football team's winning, so.
oh.
14-0.
That's important.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for having us. We really enjoyed this conversation and being a part of Good Neighbor Day, and can't wait for future partnerships with you guys.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.